Alright, so if you guys came from the Top 100 Songs video, welcome to the Top Albums of 2024. We're going to get right into it. No honorable mentions, because this is 100 albums. If this is not enough for you, I don't know what is. At 100, I have Hyperdrama by Justice. Justice finally coming back after years of not releasing an album. And while it's nowhere near something like Cross, it's still great. I love it. It's not that great. It's good. At number 99, I have In Dreams by Duster. At number 98, I have Manning Fireworks by MJ Letterman. At number 97, I have May It Never Falter by Glaive. At number 96, I have We Don't Trust You, probably one of the most iconic albums of this year, but is it towards one of the best? No. Is it still in my top 100? Of course. At number 95, Mika's Laundry by Matt Champion, legendary Brockhampton member. Weird title for an album, but cool album, so why not? At number 94, I have Acelero by Crizin da Z.O. It's like this Brazilian kind of funk album, which is actually really good. I love it. At number 93, I have Cold Visions by Blade. Hey, this album's I don't know. It's got something to it. It's good. At number 92, I have the SOS Deluxe, otherwise known as Lana, by SZA. While not as good as SOS, it's not far from SOS in my opinion. It's still up there. At 91, I have Access All Areas by Flo. At number 90, I have Bad Cameo, the collab between James Blake and Lil Yachty this year. At number 89, I have Kaytranada with Timeless. At number 88, I have Almighty So 2 by Chief Keef. Still delivering great drill bangers, and this is one of his best to date. At number 87, I have Deeper Well by Casey Musgraves, an underrated country album in my opinion this year. People didn't really like this one, and I loved it. I don't know what's wrong with people. At number 86, I have Laughing Fish by Black Dresses. And at number 85, I have For the Rest of Your Life by Twikipedia, whatever. At number 84, I have Future Pasts by Concolo Orchestra, an album I got suggested to. Afrobeat, not to get confused with Afro Beats. This album bangs. At number 83, I have Quantum Baby by the nasty girl herself, Tinashe. At number 82, I have Mutt by Leon Thomas III, or just Leon Thomas, because that's what he likes to go as now. At number 81, I have the Challengers soundtrack. Yes, the Challengers soundtrack. Really great score. I loved it. At number 80, I have Megan Thee Stallion's Megan, the self-titled. Yes. What can I say? Megan Thee Stallion. She's doing her thing. At number 79, I have The Thief Next to Jesus by Ka. Rest in peace. Released this right before his death, and it's pretty eerie to listen to considering the subject matter. I know people have this higher on their list. I just can't really get into it like the rest of people, I guess. At number 78, I have the Wicked soundtrack. I didn't even watch the movie, but this soundtrack is really good. It's great to hear Ariana Grande not in a pop mindset and kind of like a more of a musical soundtrack, and it works for her. I think it's really nice, and I love it. At number 77, I have King of the Mischievous South Volume 2, a great Denzel Curry album. Not one of his best, but Denzel Curry has set the bar so high for himself that even a album that's just good is still better than what most people release. So that's great. Following that, at 76, I have The Crossroads by Corday. I never really was impressed by his stuff, but this album was good. What can I say? At number 75, I have Romance by Fontaines DC. I know people were obsessed with this album this year. I wasn't as much. I think it's great. I just think at times it just reminds me too much of the Arctic Monkeys, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Arctic Monkeys, what can I say? At number 74, I have the Brat Remix album. At number 73, I have Mika with the self-titled Mika. Pretty sure that's his name. I'm really sorry if I'm butchering it. At number 72, I have Angel Interview by Meaningful Stone. A great dream pop album. At number 71, I have Patterns in Repeat by Laura Marling. Great writing, great song, structure and everything. What can I say? Great album. At number 70, I have Big Ideas by Remy Wolf. Following that, I have Shadowbox at 69 by Mavi. At number 68, I have Tyla with her self-titled. Honestly, an album I didn't think much of at first. Went back to it. Production was to a T, and I think it really compliments her, and I love it. It's a good album. Was it the best Afrobeats album of this year? No. That I gave to Thames at 67 with Born in the Wild. At number 66, The Great Impersonator by Halsey. Halsey came out with a great record this year, and I have to give her flowers for that. At number 65, I have Across the Tracks by Boldy James. Believe it or not, I was never really listened to Boldy James before this. I should mention that this was also in collaboration with Conductor Williams. Great production. Great album. I'd go back to it. At number 64, I have Negative Spaces by Poppy. At number 63, I have Connecticut Casual Chapter 2 by Apathy. At number 62, I have No Hands by Joey Valence and Bray. At number 61, I have Milton plus Esperanza, the great jazz kind of MPB Brazilian legend. Comes out with a great album. He hasn't really put up anything that really stood out over the last couple of years, and this is something that people really liked, and I did myself too. So yeah, that was great. At number 60, I have Russell Boring by Joba. Joba from Brockhampton. Great voice, great instrumentation. He really showcased his talent on this album, and I can't wait to see what he does next. At number 59, I have Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator. At number 58, I have Why by Amaro Freitas. A great kind of avant-garde jazz that we got this year. I love this album. At number 57, I have What a Devastating Turn of Events by Rachel Chinoruri. Definitely butchered that one. At number 67, I have Bright Future by Adrian Lenker. And 55, Caju by Lineker. At number 54, I have The Great American Bar Scene by Zach Bryan, continuing his great streak of just delivering quality country albums. At number 53, I have Cutouts by The Smile. And at number 52, I have No Name by Jack White. I know people like this album more than I did. I don't know, it just didn't stick with me like the rest. Still a good album though. At number 51, I have Smile by Porter Robinson. A great album, but to say that this is better than Nurture, I think is crazy. At 50, I have Novella by Seu. I think that's how you say her name. At number 49, I have Lives Outgrown by Beth Gibbons, legendary singer from the band Portishead. I think she gave us a really cool album here this year, and especially considering this is her first one in I think 20 years, is it? At number 48, I have Fearless Movement by Kamasi Washington. Number 47, I have Freddie Gibbs' new album, You Only Die Once. Not much of a concept going around here. It's just, Freddie doing his usual thing, and I think it lands high on my list because it's good. Screw yourself. At number 46, I have Cool World by Chat Pile. At number 5, I have a Screamo album. I'm not really big on Screamo, but this album really did it for me. Maybe because the vocals were a bit less harsh and they were kind of quieter. Death of a Rabbit. This is the album, Death of the Rabbit. I didn't even say the album name. The album is Death of a Rabbit by Your Arms Are My Cocoon. Yes. At number 44, I have Hearthstone Psycho by Don Toliver. I think it's crazy when people say Don Toliver isn't an album artist. I think he has at least two, including this one, that are pretty good, pretty freaking good. And number 43, I have Silence Is Loud by Nia Archives, a great jungle album. She's doing her thing. I love what she's doing. Yeah, it's a great album. Check it out. At number 42, I have Dark Times by Vince Staples. This is the first Vince Staples album where I was like, well, I'll first listen. Because usually for first listen, I'm not really into the whole Vince Staples thing. I don't really like his style, blah, blah, blah. It kind of has to grow on me. But this one, right away, I was like, wow. And yeah, fitting title. At number 41, I have Night Palace by Mount Eerie. At number 40, I have The Cure with their comeback album after, I think, 14 years, I'm pretty sure. Songs of a Lost World. At number 39, I have Where the Butterflies Go in the Rain by Raveena. At number 38, I have Ultra 85 by Logic. Who would have thought Logic would come out with an amazing album this year? At number 37, I have Only God Was Above Us by Vampire Weekend. And at number 36, I have You Like Music by Death's Dynamic Shroud. I think with Galen Tipton. Yep. So they collabed on that album and it was really good. At number 35, I have Biba Doobie with her album this year, This Is How Tomorrow Moves. At number 34, I have Submarine by the Marias. And number 33, I have Blue Lips by Schoolboy Q. He really shocked me this year, especially considering how much I didn't like Crash Talk. So this was a really refreshing album from him. At number 32, I have Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish. This is the first proper Billie Eilish album I actually go back to. I love this album. This album is everything I want from a Billie Eilish album. Obviously, it's not perfect, but it's still what I want from a Billie Eilish album, and I got it this year. At number 31, I have There Must Be Something Here by A Cloudy Sky. And at number 30, I have Where We've Been, Where We Go From Here by Fricko. An album that was getting a lot of attention at the start of 2024, and for some reason people forgot about it. And here I am to remind you that this album is crazy good. At number 29, I have Mahash Mahama, Mashana. I used to owe it. I said it right once, and now I think I could say it right. By Father John Misty, really great album from him. Number 28, Resort by Ski Mask, not the Slum God, just Ski Mask. Great ambient / kind of house / techno blend that really just correlates well, and great kind of album experience from Ski Mask here. Not the best of this year in my opinion, because that goes to number 27 by Floating Points with their album Cascade. Following that, I have Scrapyard by Quedeca at number 26. At number 25, I have A Lonely Sinner by Sam LRC. And at number 24, I have Lupe Fiasco's album Samurai. An album where he takes the concept of how Amy Winehouse has always wanted to be a battle rapper. And he kind of like builds a whole world and story in this album around that. And the themes and kind of like the way he meshes the tracks together, and it kind of blends into one another, and it's honestly super creative and something I would have never expected from Lupe. Honestly, it is something I would have expected from him, but just not something like this. This is crazy good. It's super cool. If you're a fan of hip-hop storytelling, this is for you. At number 23, I have All Born Screaming, or is it We Are All Born Screaming? I don't remember. All Born Screaming by St. Vincent. At number 22, I have a Perceive Its Beauty, Acknowledge Its Grace by Shabaka. Great new age kind of jazz blend, kind of mesh album from this year. At number 21, I have Here in Pitch by Jessica Pratt. wow, this is such a delicate and beautiful album. At number 20, I have Empathogen by Willow Smith. She really shocked me this year. Didn't think she had it in her, like this album showcases. And yeah, just a great album. Go check it out. At number 19, I have Cindy Lee with Diamond Jubilee. This is bringing lo-fi pop to a kind of new light and to a new audience, and it got really popular this year, and it was really cool. It was a really cool thing to see and hear. 2 hours though, which is kind of what kind of brings it down for me. Not the length, just like all the filler. There's not much filler, but there still is. At 19, I have Aurora with. Let me just get this out because I actually have it on vinyl. I haven't opened it yet. What Happened to the Heart by Aurora. Really great art pop. Love it. What can I say? At number 17, I have it on vinyl too. Actually, funnily enough, Charm by Clairo. Yeah, never was really into the whole Clairo craze, but this album she really pulled through and made something I would listen to and go back to enough for me clearly to buy the record. So there you go. At number 16, I have an Israeli album called Ruach Ba Midarom. A group of like, I think 10 or 15 Israeli artists from Tel Aviv came into one house for like, I think it was a week or a month, and they compiled 10 tracks. This was post-war, what happened on October 7th, and the songs here are kind of they're an ode to that. They're kind of based off those experiences, and it's really touching. And if you're Israeli, you have to listen to this album because it's got a lot going for it. I think it's really good and it's really underrated, and not a lot of people know about it. So yeah, that one's for my Israeli crowd. At number 15, I have an album I can't even pronounce because I don't even know how to read the title because it's in Macedonian. This is a Macedonian post-punk album that I just really like, from the band Lufthansa. Yeah, this was great. Check it out. It just sounds good. At number 14, I have Wall of Eyes by The Smile. Tom York, Johnny Greenwood, the drummer's name that I still probably will never remember. Great art rock, what can I say? At number 13, Doechii with Alligator Bites, Never Heal. What can I say about this album that people haven't already said? This album is it's just so exciting to see where she's going to take it after this. This is not even an album, this is a mixtape. So just think about what she could do next year or the years to come. Yeah, Doechii really shocked this year, and honestly, I'll admit it, I didn't even know who she was until this year, until 2024, so yeah. And number 12, legendary producer Pete Rock, one of my favorites, one of my favorite hip-hop producers and producers ever, collabs with Common, one of my favorite rappers ever, for the Auditorium Volume 1. Wow. Holy shit, how did we even get this? The fact that we even got this is incredible. Like, forget how good the album is. The fact that we got this collab and that there's going to be a Volume 2 is insane to me. At number 11, we have In Waves by Jamie XX. Crazy house album. Love it, love it, love it. Great production. I love that he just doesn't care and releases on his own schedule. Top 10, let's go. Woo! Woo! At number 10, I have Por Cesaria. I don't know how to say it. Forget about it. By Delone. Argentinian rap artist, rapper kind of, but he's also like very like kind of indie rock-ish. So he kind of blends both of that together, and it just kind of all meshes into a very cool, slick, tight, weird album that I'm just in love with. I wonder if this is on vinyl because I have to get it. It's you have to listen to this. Yeah. At number 9, I have Endlessness by Nala Sainpro. Who says jazz is dead? This is amazing, amazing, amazing jazz. If you love jazz, please listen to this. At number 8, I have I Lay Down My Life For You by JPEG Mafia. Is there's with every album, this guy just reinvents himself and breaks and shocks and every time it's just something new and something mind-blowing. And there's nothing bad you could say about him at this point. He's just become an underground legend that at this point isn't really underground. He's kind of the king. He's kind of having this MF Doom moment where he's king of underground, but he's still well known kind of by the mainstream. At number 7, I have The New Sound by Jordy Griep, and what a fitting title this is, because this is just it just sounds new. It really just does. It's just so refreshing. Even though it's like jazz punk and it's kind of progressive rock, not jazz punk, but jazz rock. It's kind of jazz rock and it's like progressive rock and it's all this like bossa nova mesh and blah blah blah. But with his Irish voice and his weird lyrics and his kind of cool arrangement, this just sounds fresh and new, and it's so fun to hear a rock album from this era that sounds this fresh. I love it. I love it so much. It's amazing, and so do a lot of people, rightfully so. At number 6, I have this on vinyl too. Small Changes by Michael Kiwanuka. I really loved his 2019 album. This is just as good, not better, but just as good. This is amazing soul music. I am absolutely in love with this artist. I think his voice is so delicate, and the instrumentation he uses, it's to die for. At number 5, I have GNX by Kendrick Lamar. And it's crazy for me to think that even when Kendrick Lamar isn't going after a concept album, he is still releasing a top 5 album for me. GNX, an album where he's just having fun with West Coast beats and just kind of going crazy and having fun and kind of crafting songs that he just wants to on the fly, not because he's trying to be introspective or conscious. He's just trying to make something that sounds good, and even then it works for him. My God, the aura, the absolute aura this man has is just insane. What a year for Kendrick, well deserved. One of the greatest albums. We're witnessing literally one of the greatest album runs and one of the greatest artists to exist on this earth, right before our eyes, and I feel like we should appreciate every moment before it passes, because Kendrick Lamar is truly a once-in-a-lifetime artist. At number 4, I have Brat, which is probably shocking to a lot of people, considering how much I talk about this album. Brat's amazing. It's everything you really want from Charlie, except that just for some reason this year people decided to finally, like, pop music has finally caught up to Charlie XCX, and it's just so inspiring to see. There's nothing really that hasn't already been said about this album. This is widely considered album of the year for most people. I have it at 4th because personally I prefer something like her self-titled from 2019. But yeah, Brat at number 4. At number 3, I have an album which didn't really crack anyone's list because it's not really a well-known album. A Chilean artist, her name is Akrila, with her album Epistolares. Oh my God, the production on this album. Neopero, or however you say that subgenre, is without a doubt the most interesting genre of the 2020s. And I think this album is an album, it is, if more people knew about this album, it would be just as big as, say, a Brat, or I don't know, even a Imaginal Disc. This this is top-notch production over top-notch vocals, over top-notch delivery. It's in a language I don't even understand. It's in Spanish. I don't even understand the lyrics, and I don't even want to, because the songs are just so good on their own sonically that I don't even need to look at the lyrical content. This is an album I really hold close to heart. This is nice. This is nice. What can I say? This is a nice album. You should check it out if you love experimental kind of alt pop, kind of just neo-pero, if you know what that is. It's great Spanish experimental music that I just adore to a T. All right, top 2. This was really hard for me, but ultimately I think after listening to both albums I kind of knew what number 1 would be. So at number 2 I have Cowboy Carter by Beyonce. I have Cowboy Carter by Beyonce, yes. In my opinion, Renaissance is one of the greatest, if not the greatest album released this decade so far. And Cowboy Carter as a follow-up is just so near perfect. Near perfect. Her writing, her concepts, her confidence, her features even, her covers, not even the rollout, but just the whole aesthetic of it, the whole album. It's really, for anyone that loves Beyonce, there's no way you can't love this album. I love it. What can I say? I don't know. It's just really, for a pop artist to be this creative is crazy, especially considering Beyonce at this point doesn't need to be, she doesn't owe us these well-crafted and thought-out albums, but yet she still does deliver these albums. And that's crazy coming from the biggest pop star in the US or the world. There's an argument for that, you know, Taylor Swift, whatever, but who cares about Taylor Swift? There's the Taylor Swift shot you guys were looking for. But yeah, not my number 1. What can I say? At number 1, I have Imaginal Disc by Magdalena Bay. This album, I would probably consider a 10 one day. I'd have to give it time. I don't know. This album is, I've never heard something like this. This is incredible synth pop with the production of Matt and the vocals of Mika. It's just all, whew. It's an album every single person watching this video should listen to. I don't see how you can come away from this album thinking it's not great, or at least an 8, or at least a 9, or I don't know. This album is wow, 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 wow. And yeah, that's my album of the year, 2024. Thank you for watching. I hope you're still watching, and bye.